Hey all, hope everyone is doing great, well, and safe. We are going to take a look at the Shaman's Dream Oracle by Alberto Villoldo and Colette Baron-Reid. The artwork is by Gina della Grottaglia. It's the same artist and author who brought you the Mystical Shaman Oracle. Overall, this is what the box looks like. It has this nice kind of galaxy outer space theme around the box. It's a hard shell box, very sturdy and solid. I personally like also the compact size, which is very nice. And you could see it here in my hand. It's a very nice compact size box, easy to carry with you as opposed to the other one that they did with the Mystical Shaman that was massive. Yes, it did have a little small compact box as well. So overall, I like the design of this box. The back of the box gives you a brief summary of what the deck is about, with some image illustration of what the cards will also look like. When you do open the box, you will be presented with the compact guidebook, which looks very nice overall presentation. The box is magnetic latch, which is fairly strong, and you have this small message, which I feel is a nice touch. We are all sacred dreamers, dreaming the world into being. Now that's also followed, if you look inside by the side, another message: discover your true destiny as a dreamer. Again, I feel this is a very nice touches and presentation overall, which is very, very nice. So you got the booklet, and then when you move the booklet, you will have your cards. Cards are nicely wrapped secure, and you've got the small compact book as well. Now, even though it's small and compact, you can see here it's plenty of information in there. So it is a small little chunky book. When you do remove your cards, you could see here how well protected it is. Again, the overall presentation looks very nice. Cards are, surprisingly, they're a very nice size, oracle size. Well, I think they're standard oracle size deck, not so big. And they come plain edge. Now, what I normally tend to do is I tend to edge my cards, not all of them, certain ones I feel. And that's what exactly I've done here. I've kind of made it gold, so I'm matching the back of the deck, and it looks very nice. So if you are considering to edge it, maybe consider this color. So overall, the card comes normally plain edge. Let's take a closer look at the design at the back of the cards. Now, I'll be honest, I have no idea what that image is of. It can be a shield or wheel engraved onto a door or wall. I honestly don't know, but it looks like it's an ancient sacred symbol of some kind with a mixture of cultures. I'm not particularly sure. So here is a closer look. The cards are a matte finish, which is okay overall. Inside of the cards, with the images as well, will pretty much be exactly the same. So overall, it looks fairly nice. I like it. The card at the same time is kind of like also very comfortable to hold in the hand, because again of the compact size. They're not too wide, and I tend to find out with a lot of oracles, they tend to be just too wide sometimes. But this one, I have medium-sized hands, and it feels very comfortable and, great overall. Now, in terms of the stock quality, it's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's excellent. It's more than good. Better than good. The cards are, also on the thin side as well, so they're not so thick. You could see here they're pretty much thin. So if you had to compare it to the last deck they did, the Mystical Shaman, it's pretty much the same side to side in terms of size and thickness. However, not in the card stock quality. I think it feels more of a downgrade from Mystical Shaman. The card felt very solid, and they've lasted me a very, very long time. So great quality in the paper. The Shaman's Dreams deck, like I said, is not of the same quality. It's not as solid, which is disappointed, but it's not rubbish. It's just not as good. And also, you can tell with the quality, the feeling of it as well. It's not as buttery as the last deck. Maybe if it was laminated, it would have been better, or even if they kept the same quality, I think it would have been great. So that to me personally is disappointed. In summary, this deck is 99% identical to the Oracle of the Seven Energies. Yes, the box is a little bigger and you've got a different theme, but in terms of the overall presentation, the guidebooks, the quality overall, it's pretty much identical. The fonts, the way the messages are outputted, and the way things are layered, it's the same. And you know, you can see that here in kind of like both of the books, the way they've got the numbers, the way they've got sort of like the keywords, and then you get at least 2 pages worth of meanings. It's pretty much identical. You don't have illustration of the pictures, you just get like the keywords and 2 pages worth. And even the cardstock overall is identical. The matte finish and feel, the color palette, and the fonts. So if you wanted to compare what this deck is like, it's exactly like the Oracle of the Seven Energies by, of course, the same artist and more Colette Baron-Reid's influence, in my opinion. So let's have a look at the cards. We're going to go through each one of the cards. We've got card number 1 and card number 2. Beautiful image and design, a tidy house, and we've got beloved. The artwork by Gina, as always, is astonishing. I love how in this deck the image beautifully reflects the wordings and expressions. It's all deeply felt symbolism in each image that truly evoke across the dreamlike journey in each of these cards. It's real extraordinary how it's played various different places is put on display, and the various different characters like you have here, the benefactor and the caterpillar. I love the way they've done that, which looks absolutely awesome. The benefactor card highlighted here shows the 2 mouths in sharing of abundance, the beautiful colors and expression. It looks absolutely fantastic. And here with the caterpillar image of what one could have only dreamt of in its form and colors. Wow, highlighting the energies of transformation, and also with the different eyes there on its body can symbolize as well looking in different perspective of opportunities to get results. And then here you have a place, various different symbolism of places. You've got the closing door, and that's beautifully highlighted. So intuitively you can alone pick up so much from the image in this deck. It's absolutely stunning. I personally have felt that they've triggered my consciousness and imagination of the various different archetype, as you'll see on of each cards. It's dreamlike, and overall they look stunning. Massive credit to Gina, stunning artwork throughout this whole entire deck. Card 7 Covenant and Crown Games for card 8. Image of a binding sacred ancient scroll contract. Overall meaning is about revision of any contracts, be it spiritual or material. The Crown Games, wow, again, powerful gold color, all about the balance use of one's power. There's many meanings towards it, taking accountability and responsibility and so on. Dances on 1 foot, and you've got balancing act. The card speaks of bringing balance to the many tasks you may be juggling in your life, but also to recognize you have every resources to help you where you don't need to actually be juggling stuff in your life. I love card 10, Deep Divers, taking a huge plunge deep into new discoveries that could be awaiting you. We have Deep Quiet, wow. You have this deep spiritual purple kind of color. You can make out the person's spirit presence there and its state of being through that meditation. And then you've got the Dragon's Hoard, the protection of future legacies and treasures. You have eggs below imbued with various different energies, and it's holding the keys. So that's what these cards will look like. So that was the first set of our cards, and you know, they are absolutely stunning, and it just keeps on getting better and better. The quality really does shine out. I mean, it's great if you're clairvoyant as well. I love the way these images cut is very striking. Dream Thief, and then you've got Drifter, 13 and 14 card, Refusal of the Call. You have a glass kind of orb in your way acting as a barrier, and the creature, the dream thief, is in your way. Seems as though it's hypnotizing you from seeing the other side and going beyond what is in front of you. The drifter card, experiencing life as it comes. The closed walls are the symbols of our structured routine, so your comfort zone. You're not really living and experiencing life. You're kind of like trapped in that sort of framework there. You've got the dust devil and the empty well. Dust devil, moving out of stagnation. I love this image. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful card, and I love how it embodies a person within the dust of sand, getting out of it and moving forward. It looks absolutely stunning. So, you're stuck in a rut, and you need to kind of like get out of that stagnated sort of atmosphere and move on. You've got the empty well, time to replenish. Has the source of energy asleep deep down the well, resting. Could be the Four of Swords. Next cards, we have the Eye of Needle and Eyes of Eagle. Absolutely stunning. Sharp needles look like swords to me, representing a form of pure clarity and brightness of it. The brightness of it will highlight sort of like a positive outcome, but needles tend to mend and bring things together. And we have the eagle, Eye of Eagle, absolutely stunning. It's my animal totem to the west. It teaches the gift of looking ahead, foresight. So it's all about be like the eagle and observe things objectively. So, not to really kind of get so involved, have the gift and vision of the eagle there. We have the fallen angel. Wow. There is a lot going on in that card. Blinding power of the light as well. This card is more about a warning to not end up like the fallen angels or to be seduced by the fallen angels. You could see there how it looks as though the person is unconscious as well. We've got Feast of Plenty. It's a very interesting card. It's all about choices has consequence, so it doesn't matter what choices you pick, it's all going to amount to something. The only warning is not making the same repeated choices that will lead to the repeated mistakes. But still, it's still a lesson being learned. We've got First Breath and Fool's Embrace, gorgeous cards. Beginner's Mind, fresh start, new beginning, take a deep breath, release and live this new experience and grow. General meaning of that deck, that card. Transmitting pain, I mean, absolutely amazing. Honestly, I couldn't think of a better way to illustrate one embracing the pain in order to learn and come to terms with it, to let it go and grow. That's a fantastic image, if not one of my favorites. Like I was saying, the symbolism is so powerful in this deck. It truly will trigger your unconscious and feelings. Every image will tap you into its realm. That's what's so beautiful about it, the imagery of it all. You have, I forgot to mention, you have a total of 64 beautiful cards that one way or another will correspond to a familiar experience on your journey. So it will kind of capture something that it is bound, that we've corresponded with, that is bound to be pinpointed out. It does a fantastic job of that. Now, I've had this deck for only 2 days now. It's due to come out next week, I believe, depending on what part of the world you are in. I'm in the UK. So for me, from uploading this, the video, it would have been like 2 days from here. But what I will tell you is it does a great job in being, I guess, in being an oracle card, just like the standard stuff of you being the seeker on your mission, your life purpose. You on your journey, you will be like calling out to the divine, the spirit, universe, whichever it is for you. Now, reaching out for guidance as the seeker and receiving it back in its symbolic form or its synchronic ways of answering you or bringing you that guidance that you reached out for. This deck actually, this deck does a fantastic job of doing that. Not only does it do it in a way that's easy to understand or that is powerful enough where it kind of like it's powerful enough to kind of move you, so it embeds the seed inside of you and also open one's awareness to kind of like be aware and take the necessary action. So as an oracle deck, I think it's absolutely fantastic. This deck really does a fantastic job in my personal opinion as an oracle deck. Now, I'm probably making it sound like it's just a regular oracle, and yet you have the Shaman title in this deck and probably asking what part of this is what part of it is the shamanic part. And well, it's what has been illustrated. The various states of dreamlike consciousness, the ways that they are being connected to or interacted with. So the imagery overall has that essence of that. From my understanding of the authors and the creation of this deck, I could be wrong, it's only my perspective at the end of the day. Dreams are cross-cultural, if not even at that, it's universal. The deck of these cards depict the various known symbolic energies and forces of the various energies and known knowledge culturally, the discovery of dream states and its manifestation power, the altered state of consciousness taking form, and the creation that can take place in it. All of those are shamanic practice in itself. That's what you have here. What I'm saying is this deck is not for you, and you may be disappointed if you are going to get it thinking of it as a collective shaman's tradition type of deck. It's not going to be purely focused on that one cultural belief, unfortunately. So everything you have seen or are looking at are not traditional image. Neither will it be kind of restrictive in any particular field specifically alone, in regards to the traditional aspects of it. It's more about the essence. So it's important to know that before picking this deck up. I personally appreciate what the creators have done. I can easily understand it. It resonates with me and I can feel its power and the awareness it brings. Another thing you should know, and you probably can tell by now, is that it's not a dream interpretation kind of deck also. It's more about co-creation and being in alignment. That's what primarily this deck is on. So you could see that there's quite a lot, 64 cards, which is quite a lot, with beautiful imagery, all, various different ways of presenting its messages and guidance across. Let's go back and have a look at some of these. We've got Magician's Sword, confidence in your magic. Look at that, beautiful, bright, powerful sword there. Various different symbols on there. And you could see with the numbering, it kind of shifts according to the image in the middle sometimes, left or right. Oh, I love this one with the various different conscious faces or various faces that we wear. Many mask, the authentic self. That is beautiful. And right there in the center, deep inside, I guess that's your true face. That's who you really are. You get we've got the metox and we've got the mindful. Repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Taking a bath. Detoxicating oneself. Clearing off. So you've got various different images there in the bubble of things just being let go of. The next card is amazing, showing the various activities in our minds. It's wanting us to be careful of our thoughts, what we've implanted or where it's focused on our thoughts. To be mindful overall is the message that you could see here, and it's beautifully sort of illustrated the things that goes on in our mind. I really love it. We have the Moon Maiden, and then we have Netcaster. Beautiful cards. New beginning, the coming to light, what was being protected and hidden, as illustrated with underneath the water, and then you have the moon on top, is now ready to be set free. Next, we've got the Netcaster. Preparation come to fruition. Basically, everything that you longed for or been trying to capture is now here and has arrived. To the messages to go ahead and cast your net. So your supporting message of whatever it is that you've been trying so hard, it's now the right time and to go ahead. We've got 43 and 44, overflow, overwhelm and plenty. That is nicely shown. You can see the flooded parts and where it's overflowing on top. So it's a both negative and positive. One is too much going on, you can't see the benefit. The other is you're overflowing with opportunities, but you're finding it hard to kind of pick a choice. I love this one here. A perfect storm, a courage to step into life. There is a storm brewing, and you could see with the crow, the raven, steady fast, it's watching out. So the message here is to pretty much, it's advising you to be aware of something coming, be it good or bad, which was being illustrated there. We've got repairing the veil, forgiveness. The card is about making amends. The veil is between us and others, how it's kind of like covering and not allowing us to see how we are truly affecting another. We are blinded. And look at this one. Wow, the rooted girl card. Look at that. Disowned girl. It has such a sad energy. You can see the child cold and dirty. Think of this as our inner child. Sometimes, it's neglected and in need of love, a part of ourselves. So it's very strong and powerful card, that one there. We've got the Sky Bridge, and then we've got the Sky Dancer. Possibility for union and then surrender. This one here talks about looking at what needs to be connected to or maybe disconnected to. The Sky Bridge. And the other one here is about surrendering to the same old behavior or to stop overthinking or figuring things out. But it also talks of embracing the feminine side of yourself. Gorgeous, gorgeous cards. We'll look at our next lot. Almost near to the end. It's a lot of cards. Images just get more beautifully. Colors really stands out. Look at this one. The sky writing. Fates. You have sort of like runes, symbols in the sky. Beautiful. You've got a feather as well, an image. And you've got the variation of the moon taking shape and color. Gorgeous designs of these cards. Spirit of the river. Movement towards adventure. Again, spirit form in the river. Gorgeous image. The lighting, I mean, it's absolutely stunning what they can do with these matte finish cards. And still you have the colors pop out. And the imagery, stars in the sky, limitless possibility. It's about embracing the various opportunities, but also about being present in the here and the now, just like it's illustrated in the image, being in one. Straddling worlds, wandering between realms. Wow, look at that. It's about being comfortable and accepting the parts of you which makes up both worlds of spirit and material, light and dark, invisible and visible, to be the master of both worlds. We've got stranger and we've got the crossing. Curiosity is about going past our fears, to be brave, to look a little bit more further and discover. It's all about taking a risk, not to be afraid. Gorgeous card. So, that looks scary. That little, be somewhat brave and curious enough to jump on. And in doing so, we end up at the crossing, the bridge, initiation. that time has come where we have to kind of like leave the old world behind and move into the new, not to be afraid again, and to be ready, or that you are ready to cross that bridge. And once we've crossed that bridge, we will come across the Father Gate, bold step forward. So you have crossed the bridge into a new world, and now taking a further bold step forward. So that's what that card is about. Where on that journey, taking that bold step, you will come across the wall where you may need to take a detour or to pause, to rest. This is beyond your control, and not to get all negative or try to force your way past the obstacle and wall. There's a purpose, there's a reason, and that can be unveiled by the unmarked trail revelation, where you have stopped and now you're forced to take a detour from the wall, which has led you to a revelation of a new discovery, a call to embark on your new sacred journey, a new path. And in doing so, you may struggle with your ego. So you got the vanishing mirror, breaking that habit of self absorption, center of attention, being too fixed on something. Stop paying attention to your blockage. You need to break free from that. So you could see how there's so many ways you can build a story, create a story from these cards. You've got the, gosh, that looks painful there in that image. Very interesting image. Reconciliation. You can see the pain in the face then, the suffering and the burning that was happening around. The card was about grief and to heal. The watchers here is where the observers are telling you to not take any action, to stop whatever it is that you're doing, and to keep things to yourself and only observe. So it's a time of observing, not a time to take any form of action. So that's what the card there was warning you. And this is the last of our cards. 61 and 62. Well sung, resonating. It's all about harmonizing. How we are so busy rushing around and not really taking in the experience and its feelings of the good things. The image here illustrating that one captured moment in our lives to truly feel and remember how it felt like, those special moments, how it felt like to be in love, how it felt like when you were successful, or, the various different things. It's kind of telling you to do that. Now, the cards has many meanings to it. I'm only giving you a brief summary of what I know and have experienced in building my relationship with this deck. So there is a lot more in depth to each of these particular card. The last card was treasures, hidden in the shadows, great mysteries and so on. We have here Winter's Dream is the place of our conscious awareness. The card is advising us to go within, like in the image, to sleep and go inside the hidden crystallized place that you have here on display. It's where our dreams are born, where everything takes form. It's the time to dream and bring things together to co-create. It's the season of winter. And the last card is Woodwives. Adaptability with strong roots planted, an indication of growth. Basically, the card is encouraging us to remain grounded no matter what comes at us. So that was our last card. So let's have a look at the small guidebook itself. So in the guidebook, you've got your contents, which is nicely broken out, and then you go straight into the various different index of the cards. The cards are alphabetically in order. So, it's all nicely broken up, so it'll be easy to kind of look and find. And at the very end of the book, you'll have information on the author and artist. And in the book, you get this section on understanding more about the dreaming world and, the whole offering of the oracle. So it gives you, basic information and understanding of this deck, or what it's aiming at least a couple of pages worth. You get a section on how to work with the deck. Again, 2 pages worth. So, it gives you more than enough to start off with. In terms of the spreads, nothing is displayed, it's just written there. You get your typical 1 card spread. You get a 3 card spread, the name in it, the source, and the outcome. And then you also have a 4 card spread as well. The evolution of a desired outcome is what they name in that spread. And then once you've gone through all of that kind of like section of the book, you go straight into sort of like the card meanings. And you could see here, they're pretty much exactly the same throughout. Unfortunately, you won't have any illustration of the pictures. Like here we have beloved. Card number 2, you get the number, keyword, and then you could see here it goes a little bit further within sort of like the meaning, because you only have a bit of the message, radical acceptance, but it follows through further on that, and you get at least 2 pages worth of meaning of the card. Another one here, number 3, benefactor, has a bit of the message there, and then it highlights it even further. So overall, that was the book. Compared to the old one, it's a lot smaller. It's kind of, I don't know, it's a mixture. I like certain things about the old book, where you at least had the image, and I guess a lot of it didn't make sense to me. That a lot of the meaning didn't really relate to the image. So in this smaller format, it kind of makes it up for it. It's a lot smaller, and it does provide better meanings compared to the old ones. So that is it, guys. That is the Shaman Stream Oracle. I love it. I really do. I think it's a fantastic deck. So, it doesn't really focus centrally on the shaman one, sort of like culture, but in terms of what the authors were putting out, I think they've done a fantastic job. So that was it. That was a look at the Shaman Stream. Hope you've enjoyed. Take care.